So welcome to video 6 of module 1. This is our last video in this module, and you've done a great job sticking with me this long so far. You're probably head and shoulders above like 99% of the population right now in terms of actually executing things and taking action, and let's not let the momentum die. In this video, what I'm going to show you is a technique that I call the howitzer method. It's a little bit sneaky, it's very effective. So here is the person who this is for, everybody. All right. I've just given you some ideas on how to create your money magnets, the 4 different components of mass control, and you probably got some good ideas on which types of money magnets you want to create. Well, the howitzer method allows you to begin and prepare your market for the massive carpet bombing of money magnets that is to come. All right, and this is going to work for you even if you don't have a list, especially if you don't have a list. You really need to pay attention to this. If you do have a list, you still need to do this, and as you watch this video, you might even reflect back on when you may have witnessed me or some of my evil henchmen, hench people, to use a more politically correct term, executing this very same technique in the past. All right, so it's a good one, it's easy, it's sneaky, and it works. So let's get to it. And of course, as always, say it with me, there is a corresponding section in your mass control manual that goes along with the video that you're about to watch. Here we go.
So in this video I'm going to show you the howitzer method, and this method allows you to be the center of attention in your market literally overnight, but it does take some planning and a little bit of the dreaded work to get this thing set up. However, it's pretty easy and it's pretty fun actually. So let's talk about why this works. First of all, we need to engineer your market's belief systems, and let's talk about how a belief is built in someone's mind, specifically with marketing. First of all, if you say it, then maybe it's true, right? So if you go to your prospect and you say, my system is excellent, then they're going to say, well, okay, you know, it looks good, and maybe that's true, but this guy's trying to sell me something, and it's probably a sales pitch and probably not as good as it sounds, right? And that's normal human behavior there. And then, of course, if you add a level up to that, then we have a testimonial, where if someone else says it, then it's probably true. So if I say, or if you say, hey, you know, my product here is great, then they say, oh, well, you know, maybe that's true. But then if Jim comes along and says, yeah, this product really worked for me, I've got incredible results from it, and then your prospect's going to say, well, you know, it's probably true then, but there's still going to be a little bit of skepticism, right? And that's just, again, human nature, no problem, nothing to do with you. Then, of course, we have the next level up where if lots of people say it, then it's almost certain to be true, right? So if I say my product's good, then you'll say, yeah, well, maybe it's good. You know, it seems okay, but he's trying to sell me something. And Jim comes along, and Jim says, yeah, it worked for me. And then the prospect's going to say, well, yeah, okay, it's probably pretty good. But if Jim and 10 other people say, you know, this is really great, it worked for me, then the prospect's going to say, you know, this is almost certainly going to be true. And then you have the next level up where it's if it's in print, then it's definitely true, right? So not only have lots of other people say it, but then if it's printed somewhere in a publication that's not mine and not yours, if the third party prints it like a review or something, then well, it's definitely got to be true, right? So that's what the howitzer method is based on. It's based on the way human beliefs are engineered and the way we build beliefs in our minds. And this is all, of course, common sense stuff, right? So what you want to do is, with the howitzer method, you want to load up your cannon. And the goal of this whole thing, and again, I'm using the metaphor of a howitzer. Let's think of it as making a splash in your market, right? So if I say something that's true, then it'll make a little bit of a splash in the market. Or if we think about how marketing is done traditionally, the normal method would be for us to go out to our market and say, hey, I've got this product, right? And that would be the equivalent metaphorically of making a little ripple in the pond of the market, right? It's going to make some waves, get some attention, and nothing. And then you have like the common method that you see right now in most marketplaces, where you have like, I'll say, okay, I have this product, and then some affiliates will say, oh yeah, here's this product in the market, and that'll make, you know, that's like the equivalent metaphorically of throwing a stone into the pond, where it's going to make a little bit of a splash, and there's going to be a lot of waves that are made from that stone. Well, with the howitzer method, what we want to do is essentially fire a howitzer cannon straight into the middle of the pond and cause more than just a splash or some ripples. We want to cause this giant explosion in the pond where you can't help but notice this. It's the center of attention in that pond right now. We've just fired this howitzer missile or cannon shell right into the middle of the pond. So this part we're going to talk about loading your howitzer cannon, metaphorically, of course. The goal of the howitzer method is not to start selling immediately. The goal of the howitzer method is for you to become the center of attention in your market by getting massive magnet distribution. If you remember in previous videos, I talked about your mass control money magnets and the different components of mass control money magnets, whether it's your interest and desire or your bonding or your proof or your samples. So what we want to do with the howitzer method is get massive magnet distribution, and we usually do that with the interest and desire magnet. And what we do is we infiltrate the forums in your market, and you infiltrate the news groups in your market, and you have your affiliates prepared for the unified front attack, which is going to be covered later in future videos, but it's essentially all affiliates mailing or promoting your mass control money market, or your mass control money magnet, can't talk today, sorry, all at one time for a unified front. And when you have all of this go on, you have this massive exposure immediately in your marketplace. But there's some key factors I want you to remember. The first of all is it's not you doing the talking, okay? And I'm going to go into greater detail in a minute, but it's not you talking about how great your stuff is, it's other people talking about your stuff. It's very important. The next is that nothing at this stage is being sold. You're just distributing your first mass control money market, and what happens when you do this is you get, hang on, I'm trying to get my other slide here, mass indoctrination. There we go. Mass indoctrination of the marketplace into your way of thinking. So when you distribute that first interest and desire money market or money magnet, you have mass indoctrination into your of the market into your way of thinking. So if lots of people read your first interest and desire money magnet, they are indoctrinated into what you're all about. And that's what we're going for. Because once you have this mass indoctrination and you have this massive influx of interest and desire, the rest almost unfolds by itself. Of course, we're going to engineer even more market response through the next steps that we're going to do. But with this howitzer method, it gets you that mass indoctrination and mass exposure immediately, so you're really starting off on the best foot as possible. So I want to take you to a mind map now and take you to the computer and show you specifically how we do this. So here I am in a mind map, and let me explain this to you. With the howitzer method, you have two steps. You have preparation and then your launch. And what we're going to focus on right now is the preparation. So remember earlier when I said you wanted to infiltrate forums and news groups? Well, what I mean by that is you want to start a conversation in forums and news groups with the market. And you want to do it as someone other than you. And I don't want you to talk up your stuff with this. I want you to simply begin dialogue so that when it's time to launch and you say, hey, have you guys seen this report, or have you guys seen this video? This is pretty cool, and you're leaking your mass control money magnet for the interest and desire phase over here in this section, it's not going to seem weird and out of the blue. So with this, with the preparation, it's infiltration. And when you launch, like I said, you leak your mass control money magnet to the forum, and then your affiliates launch the unified front attack where everybody is promoting your first wave of mass control money magnets all at one time. So let me show you how we would infiltrate forums and news groups for my dog business. Here I am in google.com, and I'm looking for forums to infiltrate for dog training. So of all the crazy things, I typed in dog owner forum, and I have dogforums.com as the very first one. Web Rover is the first natural search result. And here we have just literally as many dog owner forums as we could possibly stand. All right, so let me just check out the first one here, dogforums.com. And actually, before I do that, let's have a look and see which ones are worth going into. So if you'll remember quantcast.com, or a fancy little secret weapon here from some other earlier videos, I want to check out and just see which of these forums are getting lots of traffic. Because if it's a forum nobody goes to, there's no point in really infiltrating it. So I've clicked on Go here. And let's just move the old camera up and see what we have. So, estimated monthly uniques of 12,185, not too bad. So this is a pretty good forum, 12,000 monthly unique visitors. But the good thing about Quantcast is, remember, it shows you 20 websites with similar audiences to the one that you're checking out. So let's have a look at this right here. Scroll on down and I'll show you something really cool. What do you know? Here's a website that's dog related that has 948,616 estimated United States monthly unique visitors. Well, what do you know? I think this might be a good little place to infiltrate if they have a forum. So I'm going to go to Next Day Pets and check them out. So here I am on their site. Stuff, blah, 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 buy stuff, yada, 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 and hey, what do we see right here? Pet Lovers Forum. So I'm going to click on the Start Chatting button and look at all of these topics. Now, when you start infiltrating a forum, what you want to do is you want to position yourself as a neutral party who's there to add value. You do not want to position yourself as someone who's selling something. So this is very sneaky. You just want to register as an anonymous user or just use like a different name or a pen name or whatever, and go in there and start answering questions or pointing out good, valuable content that you could find. And the reason you're doing this is because you want to establish a history of posting in this forum, and you want to establish a history of providing good value. And the reason why is when it's time to implement the howitzer method, and when you start leaking your mass control money magnets, it doesn't look like you're just some weird wacko person coming out of the blue promoting something. Now, with that said, even if you did look like a weird wacko person coming out of the blue just randomly making a post, if you do your mass control money magnets correctly, it shouldn't matter, because your interest and desire money magnet should be so good and should be so rich in content and beneficial to the user that no one's even going to mind that you're posting it up there, because the audience is going to like it and they're going to enjoy it. That's the point, right? So let's have a look here and see what we can see. So like I said, when you're infiltrating these forums, what you want to do is contribute to the forum and add as much value as possible. And the goal of this is to, of course, make it look like it's completely normal for you to be posting there, and position yourself as a person of authority who should be listened to, and someone who gives very good and valuable information. So one way to do that, and of course do a little bit of research into your market, is to scroll through the forum and see what questions people have and where you can help people. And if you're in your market and you know what you're talking about in your market, this will be extremely easy. But you don't want to do this as you, the creator of the product. Again, you want to do it as just this neutral person, and you might want to do it as a character who matches the market perfectly. So if I were in the dog market and I know that these websites are getting primarily female visitors, I might sign on with the screen name like Dog Lover Janet or something and say, hi, I found this article, you might like it. So here's a big question: need help training potty trained my new Yorkie. Here's another one: help me, my puppy won't let me go anywhere. So this is a fairly new post. Last reply is today as I'm filming this. And you can go in here, and what I would do is answer this question. And I would say something like, hi, I'm new to this forum and I've had the same problem before, and here's how you potty train your Yorkie. Or if you really want to be lazy, you would say, hey, I had the same problem before, I found a great article about Yorkie potty training here and I think you might enjoy it. So let's see if we could do that actually right now. So I'm feeling particularly lazy, so I know this woman wants help, or this person, I didn't even look to see if it was a woman, I know this person wants help training a Yorkie, so I went to Google, typed in potty train a Yorkie, and here's one, potty training my Yorkie, allexperts.com, looks like a pretty good source of information here, and here we go, here's the question, and here's the answer. Here's how to potty train your dog. How about that? And here's just this giant article on how to potty train a dog. So do you think this, if you give this information to the person on the forum, do you think you're going to be providing value? Absolutely. Especially since they're even mentioning Yorkies in the article, right? So it's completely relevant and it's good information. You're not pushing anything. There's nothing even for sale on this website, so you can have a link directly to here, and you can go back to the forum, And you could simply say, hi, I'm new to this forum, but I used to have the same problem, and I found this great information here. It's totally free. You might enjoy it. Let me know how it works. And then have a link to that website. And what I would do, if I were you, is I would go out in the forum that you're infiltrating, and I would find as many questions that you could answer quickly. And I would try to do 20 of them. I would also look for common questions. I would start scrolling through these. So let's say that you found a common question was a housebreaking question. All right, so you go out, you go here, and you just find articles, or if you want to, just personally answer the question. Again, not as a person selling anything, no signature tagline or no promotion at all. You're just providing good value and helping. And then what you want to do is you want to find a common question that you can answer as well, so you can make a post of your own and be perceived as an authority and someone who's giving good value. So let's say a common question was potty training, right, for this market. Well, here's how you can really be the hero. I've gone to Friendly Neighborhood YouTube here, done a search for potty trained dog, and look at all of these videos I just found about potty training your dog. I promise I didn't know that one was up there. That's pretty funny. But look at all this good dog training information. So what I can do now is I can just choose one. Let's say this one is the top. It's been viewed 14,000 times. It's probably pretty. So here it is. Looks like a good video. It does have this person's URL in here, but I don't think that really matters, because what we're wanting to do, again, is just be someone who's providing good value. So we have this URL. You can simply copy and paste the URL here, and then you can go back to the forum. You do a new topic. Of course, I'd have to log in and all that stuff, but it's free to join these things. I'm not going to walk you through that one, but you log in and you simply say, as your new post here is cool video, how to potty train your puppy. And I'm doing this based on the assumption that potty training is a common issue. And then I might want to come back tomorrow and find the second most common issue and say, cool article, how to teach your dog to come to you when you call, or whatever. And I'm just giving away all of this content. So what I'm doing is I'm positioning myself as a very helpful member of this forum, and I'm making it so it is not at all unusual for me to point out cool articles and videos and other stuff to the other members of the forum. So when it's time to launch the howitzer, and when it's time to start distributing in mass, when it's time to start distributing your mass control money magnet, and it's time to start getting yourself some mass indoctrination, it's going to be a completely normal thing for you to post a link to your mass control money magnet. And again, you're not doing this as you, the person who's selling something. You want to do this as just a random person who happens to like dogs in this case. And you can also do the same thing with news groups. And I like to use Google Groups to find news groups. It's groups.google.com. And if we want to find dog-related news groups, I just typed in dogs, clicked on search groups there. And here's one with 1,092 subscribers. So, pretty good. We can check this one out. rec.pets.dogs.behavior. And let's see what they're talking about. So you got 1,000 people who are subscribed to this thing. They've had 62,000 topics posted in this. They're very active, because you can see all of the activity that's coming in right here. Just 2 days ago, 114 new replies came in. So what you would do is you would post something like, and this one, what is your favorite training method? And you might want to say, hi, I'm a new dog owner. I'm wondering what your favorite training method is. I've looked at all kinds of stuff, and I just wanted to get what do you guys think? What's the best one? And you're just starting a dialogue there. And then you could say, come back and start giving content. I think if you come to this news group and you just start like saying, hey, check this out, like if we just sent that same YouTube video, people might wonder if we're not part of the website that put out that YouTube video. If you remember, it had someone else's website URL in there, so I wouldn't use that method straight into a news group. I would just ask a question, and I would just begin with a common question such as, hey, what's your favorite training method? Do you guys think crate training's good, or do you prefer something else, or whatever, and just begin a dialogue. And then once you have begun dialogue, then start giving out content and say things like, hey, I just found this really cool potty training video on YouTube. I think you guys might like it. Here it is. So then you're positioning yourself as a member of the group, and when it comes time to release your mass control money magnet, it's totally under the table, it's not weird, it's normal, and you're a trusted source of information at that point. So the next step in the howitzer method would be the unified front assault from your affiliates, but we're going to cover that in later videos. But for now, what I'd like you to do is use quantcast.com and Google Groups and identify at least 10 forums with quantcast.com that have a good reach. So you notice that we found this this Next Day Pets with almost 1 million unique visitors a month. Well, that's what we're looking for. So here's another one that's got pretty good reach down below it, this dogs.about.com. So I would just start searching and using Quantcast for who's going to have the biggest reach and the most members, and then once you find about 10 or so that have a cumulative gigantic monthly reach, I'd start posting to them just like I showed you, and then as a secondary measure I'd infiltrate the news groups as well. If you have to choose one, do the forums because they have a better reach, but I'd like to see you do both because you cannot have too much exposure, especially when it's time to release your interest and desire magnet. You want to be the center of attention in that market instantly, and this is how you do it.